Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at TechTrader.com. It's Wednesday, the 6th of May. These are the charts for the day. Well, a great day in Wall Street at the beginning, a sloppy end, and a lot of stocks we followed did very well. I'm very pleased with the way some of these stocks are acting. Let's take a look at a few of them. ADVM, Advertum Biosciences, exploded in the last 3-4 days. It's taken it from under 11 to over 23 3/4, reaching the top of the channel as I have it here. So it's a bit overbought short term. Momentum could carry a little higher, maybe to 27. And that's something to keep an eye on for a momentum follow through. But keep an eye on this morning's low. 1880 is your stop underneath that. APDN exploded 2 days ago, pulled back, and had almost an engulfing reversal day today. Finishing near the highs for the day at 940. Actually, it was the high for the day. And then after hours, popping some more. Exploded on some positive news. Trading was halted. It pulled back on a falling wedge and then really took off, literally going from about 7.5 to almost 12 before the after hours coil developed. Keep an eye on this one for tomorrow. If we do get a follow through, look for a retest of the 1237 range, which was a spike high. If we get through that, there's a distinct possibility that this level up here could be taking a look at around 16.5, 17 range. With this kind of momentum, it could very well do that. It depends on volume. Beyond, fabulous day today, up 26 or 26%, going from about 89 last week to 126.5 today, closing within pennies of the high. Fabulous close. You may get a follow through tomorrow, but there is resistance up there, right about 130, 33. That'll be the follow through I'll be looking for, and then out, because this is the top of the fifth wave, or at least it looks like it. CARS broke out of a base today. The stock, which had come down from 14 to 3 and change, formed a nice base, popped, fell short of the 50, and then backed off. But then today exploded for 239 or 53% on 22 million shares. This is huge volume and a breakout. Looking for a run of that 8-9 zone short term. CODX, nothing special, but I wanted to show you how this little three-way flag on low volume ebb here with good technicals could lead to a pop and go. Keep an eye on CODX or move to the 15 3/4 range, which could lead to 20. CTSO popped out of a falling wedge 2 days ago and then stalled, but today it followed through nicely. The top of the channel and my target near term is 11.5. That's near the top of the long range channel. DGAZ, folks, when you see island reversals, they're often very, very important. That could mean that net gas is on the way up, and the targets would be 203, 225, 235. We'll see what happens. But every time you leave a gap down, gap up island, it's with big volume like that, often very important. DQ, the Chinese semiconductor stock exploded out of a pattern of big wedge pattern, and up through resistance of 52.5 to close at 55.53, up 660. That's a 13.5% gain. The volume is light as the stock is thin, but I think the follow through gets me to 62 and 68.9. DVAX popped and broke out today. Volume picked up to 7.4 million, the biggest in a long time. Breakout type volume, but it did back off. Perhaps though giving us an entry opportunity. I'm now looking for a follow through to 6 and 7. Those are my two targets going forward. Enphase exploded. Beautiful recovery off the March lows. From 21.5, the stock has gone to 53. It may challenge a double top up near 59. That's my near-term target. Horizon exploded with a breakaway gap above the prior high. Very potent type pattern up to 11.4 million shares, up 14% and more than 5 points. Looking at the long range channel, if this in fact is the angle of ascent, this could be a $50 stock going forward. KAL8 popped out of a little wedge today. Take a look. There's the wedge pattern. And the pop, and it ran up $1.06 or 10%. I'm looking for an extension through this line if we can get it. And if we do, probably 14 is your target. LivePerson exploded on positive earnings, I believe. The stock jumped 943 or 40%. 10 million shares, which is unheard of for the stock. Probably sets it off in a new uptrend. But a gap here at resistance might be your first target due to some pushback potentially there at 38. That's my new target. LVGL to new all-time highs today. Fantastic relative strength. having exploded from the March lows under 19 to today's high over 48. Fantastic move, and this little pullback it had last week was followed by a quick run up to resistance and a new all-time high. It might extend further to mid-50s. MDGX popped, pulled back, and today exploded, but it didn't hold it. Still, after the big gap on 6.5 million shares, it was up 64 cents. That's a 22% gain. And yes, disappointing in that it didn't close towards the upper end of the range, but keep an eye on this one for some follow through to 4.25. MGNX exploded big time. We traded that beautifully today. It literally went from 831 to 27 and change, more than tripling, and closed at the upper end of the range. And then after hours, went sideways in a coil, setting us up for what could be another explosive type move to take this to the high 20s, low 30s. Nutanix, one of my old favorites, popped with a breakaway gap as well. It's right at resistance. Should this get to 21.15, and today's high was 21.27, we might very well see something around 24 to 26 short term. OSPN popped an inverse head and shoulders or with a downsloping shoulder line and neckline. Or we can call it a right-handed extended V and a wedge. But either way, I'm looking for a run to test 20.5, and we get some resistance right there at 20.5. We'll see if we can get through that. Ostk popped and extended its beautiful move. It's taking this from 2.5 to 16.25. There's some resistance right here at about 17. We may see that tomorrow, but careful up here as it's due for a pullback. OSUR 1, 2, 3, 4, and another breakout today. I'm looking for 20 in this stock. It looks pretty powerful. And a nice pop out of the wedge. RVP, after a big pop 2 days ago and an inside quiet day yesterday, advanced some more today, running another 7%, but mine was pretty low. It may need to consolidate some, and the angle of ascent shows that it's near the top of the channel. But if we can set it up for a couple days, 3 days, we might be able to get up to 7. SC broke out yesterday and followed through today with another 376. Stock is now over 62 at one point. That's up from where we showed you in the 20s, low 20s. It's a triple over the last 7 or 8 months and still looks higher. Spce broke out of a flag today, coming off the bottom of the channel. I'm looking for a retest of 20.75 and then a run to 25. TGTX with 3 huge days in a row has reached secondary resistance near the $20 target and may need some pulling back, but has very strong momentum. TWST broke an inverse head and shoulders, right hand extended V. Broke through the neckline with a pop today. Got all the way up to 40 and backed off to 37.22. It was still up 348. Let's see if this can expand a little bit further. I got a target at 50 on an intermediate term and a shorter term, maybe low to mid 40s. Vapo exploded and went berserk today for 770 at 35%. Excuse me. On record volume, but after hours, announced the second day. But look how well it's held up. It's only off a buck and a quarter, and I think after some stabilization, this may work its way higher, but it is near the top of the channel. Meridian Biosciences, or Vivo, also exploded through resistance and got up to the gap back from way back here a year ago. If it can fill that gap, we might see something around 17 and a half. And finally, W just won't quit, up another 15 points or 9%. Trading as high as 182.44 before pulling back and then bouncing back to 180.81 to finish near the highs for the day. What a fantastic move this has had from literally from 21.70 to 184 in about 6 weeks. Fantastic. And I'll leave you with that. This is HB out. Have a good evening.